Hi everybody, quick little video about the Skeleton J2 builds. Now you already know that we're putting together this Class 1 rig, and we've got our Class 2 rig buttoned up, and we're also on our way to build our Toyota axle Hilux lid. And in the middle of all this, you might be asking yourself, well, thanks for the electronics tray, but where do I put my battery? Well, this is easy, because with the size of the modern electronics, I mean a Tekin RS or a Tekin FXR, the speed control is like this big. So that's easy. You can put the FXR at the back, or up here in the front between the two body post mounts, or on the bottom, even on the bottom side of the radio tray. You'd be surprised how much room is on the bottom of the radio tray. So I'm just going to show you where we have ideas for batteries, and you guys can come up with your own great ideas. There's even lots of room in the back here between the towers if you wanted to do that. But let me tell you where my first preference is. So this is a 1300 3-cell. We use this in a lot of cars, trucks, airplanes. This is a really common battery for us over here at GCM. And I know Dana runs these in his rigs, and it's a common battery, lots of power, and very small size. But it's still a 3-cell, so you know it's got some heft to it already. But this thing just slides right in, and that just gives you an idea how much room is in here. So this 1300, it takes up the same amount of space as going from the servo to the motor plate, and that's it. So, and it's actually shorter than the frame is. So I mean, the 1300 is a 3-cell, is a drop-in in there, and there's more than half an hour or 40 minutes of running on one of these trucks, and you can easily get through a scale comp with that battery. And the nice thing is, you can access the terminals here through the fender well. So if you put your ESC up in the front and wrap the wire around, you can tie it up here on the shock tower and just have your plug-in right there beside the shock. So there's one option. If you're not into the 3-cell size and you want to get down to the 2-cell, this is a 2200 2-cell, and this is the same size of battery that's used in all the Traxxas Mini Revo, Mini Summit, Mini Slash. This is that battery. So this is the dimensions that you can use to easily fit in here. So here's a great idea. You want a 2-cell, you can drop the 2-cell right in there. Now this is the same situation as the 1300 3-cell. It's even a little tiny bit shorter than it's shorter than the 1300, and it's shorter than the frame still. And it goes just a little bit past the servo here, up to the motor plate. So there's a perfect spot. You can still fit your receiver and ESC in the front. If you have light controllers or something, you can stick them in the back here on the back of the motor plate. So that's an option. You can also put these inside, eh? This thing is exactly the same size as the radio tray from the firewall right to the servo. So I mean, there's another great option. It just drops right in, and the 1300 will do the same. So you can easily fit these in here. There's a 1300 3-cell, and now it's laid flat down, and we've got it in here from the servo to the firewall. So I would highly recommend you turn the wires around on that so they don't get into the spur. So there we go. 1300 3-cell. There's a 2200 2-cell. You can stand it up on the side. Now there's also, of course, if you have a Viterra twin hammer, you know that they come with a 2000 2-cell, and it's even more narrow than this, and you can actually fit 2 of those inside here. There, I left them over at Dana's house, but you can easily fit that in there, easy. So this is a 2200 3-cell. You can see by the size of it, it's basically the same size as the 1300 in height and in thickness, but it's longer. And if you shove this 2200 down here like this, it's actually the exact same length as the radio tray. It goes from the motor plate right back to the radio tray, to the tip of the radio tray here at the front. And so as long as you don't need to use this body mount hole on the body, then if you were one of those guys that had an opening hood on the truck, this is the perfect situation, because if you have an opening hood, then you don't need the body post that's right there. that we were using on the radio tray for body mounting. So you're obviously doing something else. And so then if your hood's open, you can literally just slip this thing right in there and boom. So of course if you have an opening hood truck, all of these are a great option. There's lots of room there. Still you can use the body mount hole. On the 1300 you can still use the body mount hole. No problem. So what about this bottom of the radio tray thing? Well, you can see here that the radio tray here on the truck that comes with the skeleton kit, it actually goes right to the firewall. The firewall on this Jeep body right here is actually right there along the back of the radio tray. And surprise, surprise, but a 1300 battery actually sits right there. It goes right from the firewall to the motor plate, behind the motor plate, and then it comes over to the side of the firewall, to the side of the fender, so you can actually easily fit this in behind there. You could still put another 1300 in the front, so now you're up to 2600 milliamps. You can do the same trick with the 2-cell. You can put the 2-cell in the back, behind the motor plate. Obviously you want to make sure you protect it from the spur gear, but you can do that with a long head bolt here or something. So there's options. Even under the radio tray, there's room. So if you wanted to see, there's 2 bolts here. I don't know if you can see this, but see the 2 screw holes right here? There's 2 screw holes right there in the bottom of the radio tray. If you actually look underneath, there is so much room under here. You can see how much space there is under the radio tray, all the way down here on top of the suspension links. And even if you compress the links, there's over an inch of space here on the bottom of the radio tray. So this is a perfect spot to bolt in on the bottom. You can bolt in like a Wraith or an XO size radio box. You can bolt it underneath the radio tray and still have room for 2 1300 3-cells on top. I don't know how much battery you need, but I don't need that much battery. A 1300 3-cell goes for as long of a scale run as I need to do, including comping or whatever. So there's lots of battery there. And of course, even if you were comping, a 1300 is lots of time for an 8-minute or a 12-minute course. And you can probably fit 3 or 4 courses in there on that battery, no problem. So as you can see, we've got our drive shafts on here as well. These ones are the G-Made Junfac drive shafts. This is actually the exact set that they sell for an SDX10. So we've got the short shaft here in the rear that comes with that kit, and we've got the long shaft here in the front that comes with the kit. So those are the 2 drive shafts that G-Made has out for the SCX axles, and they go right on the truck. This one I think is called an 82, and I think this one's called a 95 or something, but I forget. But that's basically the sizes. And then we made up a little propeller shaft here for the front center for the 71 millimeters in the front. And so that's our update with this. Wanted to give you an idea what to do with your batteries. And if you have any comments or suggestions, make sure you leave them on underneath the video, right down there. Please subscribe, and make sure you share this with your friends who are setting up their skeletons. And we look forward to seeing your builds on the web. Peace out.